Constitution stipulates that the Yang di-Pertuan Agong is the supreme head of the Federation and that he presides over all people in the country. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong is elected from among the 9 Malay rulers for a period of 5 years. The position of Yang di-Pertuan Agong was created because of the Red Commission, which drafted the Federal Constitution. Since Malaysia adopts a constitutional monarchy system, the role of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong is very broad. There are many functions of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong in a state. The role of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong in Malaysia is as a symbol of national unity, stability, and sovereignty.
The first role of YDPA is appointing the Prime Minister. The YDPA role in appointing Prime Minister is significant in situations where there is a changes in government or after a general election. The YDPA typically consult with the political party that has obtained the majority of seats in the Dewan Rakyat, and the YDPA will pick the Prime Minister based on his judgment after receiving a candidate recommendation from the party. The power of YDPA in choosing and appointing a Prime Minister is written under the Federal Constitution, whereby in Article 42 stated that Yang di-Pertuan Agong is free to make decision without any interruption. And in Article 42A, the YDPA may appoint a Prime Minister who in his view probably have the support of the majority of Dewan Rakyat. As example, we can see in General Election 15 on November 20, 2022, where at that time, no political party has able to get majority vote, but Anwar Ibrahim from Pakatan Harapan and Muhyiddin Yassin from Perikatan Nasional assert that they have a coalition in place that is sufficient to pass the majority, although neither provided any details on the composition of their alleged coalition. So in this case, Yang di-Pertuan Agong held a special discussion with the Malay monarchs at Istana Negara to discuss the formation of federal government and to choose the 10th Prime Minister. So finally, His Majesty the Malay ruler has approved the appointment of Anwar Ibrahim as the 10th Prime Minister of Malaysia after taking into consideration his opinions. Other example we can see is YDPA appointing Muhyiddin Yassin as Prime Minister in 2020. In 2020, Tun Mahathir sent a letter of resignation as Prime Minister. This caused the government to find a new leader. Indirectly, for the first time, the YDPA has carried out his function by appointing a new Prime Minister based on the Federal Constitutional Act that allows him to choose. So in result, Yang di-Pertuan Agong is empowered under the Federal Constitution to choose and appoint a Prime Minister based on his assessment of who is most likely to win the support of the majority in Parliament. This authority is used during general election or during periods of change in the administration.
So I will present the second function, which is the Yang di-Pertuan Agong in declaring the emergency. So the Yang di-Pertuan Agong also have a role to declare an emergency under the Article 150 that states, if the Yang di-Pertuan Agong is satisfied that a major emergency is taking place which causes security or economic life or public order in the Federation or any part of it to be threatened, Yang di-Pertuan Agong can issue an emergency proclamation by making a declaration to that effect. Here is the steps that are usually carried out by YDPA in the process of declaring an emergency in the country. The first is consultation with the House of Rulers. Before declaring a state of emergency, the YDPA will consult with the House of Rulers of Malaysia. The second is government consideration. YDPA will also consider the views and recommendations from the Malaysian government, especially from the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. The third is evaluation of the situation. Before making a decision, YDPA will evaluate the current situation in the country. And the fourth is YDPA will calling all the parliament session and consultation with the political leaders. YDPA will call the parliament session to get views and voices from the people's representative. And the last is declaration of emergency. After conducting the necessary deliberation and consultation, YDPA will declare an emergency.
One of the significant roles of the YDPA as the head of the Islamic State is to foster religious harmony. They encourage interfaith dialogue and support initiatives that brings different religious communities together. This emphasis on unity helps maintain peace and tolerance among Malaysians of various faiths. The YDPA ensure that Islamic principles are upheld in Malaysia. By doing so, they contribute to the nation's identity as an Islamic state, while also respecting the rights and beliefs of non-Muslim communities. This balance is crucial to ensuring a harmonious and diverse society. The role of the YDPA as the head of the Islamic State comes with challenge, balancing traditional ceremonial duties with modern governance and navigating complex political situations requires wisdom and tact. However, by fulfilling their role effectively, the YDPA continues to be a symbol of unity and guardian of Islamic values in Malaysia.
Next, I would like to present about the last roles of Yang di-Pertuan Agong. In accordance with Article 41 of the Federal Constitution, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong is Commander-in-Chief of the Federation Armed Forces. As such, he is the highest-ranking officer in the military chain of command. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong appoints the Chief of the Armed Forces Staff on the advice of the Armed Forces Council. He also appoints the service heads of each the three branches of the military forces. In addition, the Federal Armed Forces Act was passed by the Federal Parliament in order to consolidate in one law all the regulations governing the three services, that is, Army, Navy, and Air Force. It establishes the function and duties of the federal head of state in his capacity as Supreme Commander. Among the duties of the YDPA as the Supreme Commander is to approve the compositions of the regular forces recommended by the Armed Forces Council. As a conclusion, the monarchy is an important institution in Malaysia. It is because the monarchs are the focus or symbol of identity in the country. At the same time, the Federal Constitution grants crucial powers on the YDPA affecting the country's administration. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong of Malaysia plays a unique role as he is the embodiment of the nation's history and tradition. His Majesty not only plays an important role in national unity but also shapes the relationship between state, people, and law.